My name is Jordan Metzger. I'm the curator of the Mass Herbarium here at Virginia Tech. The purpose of this video is to go into a site up near Roanoke and collect a voucher sample, so some material for our herbarium here that we can document the population with. So we are involved in a mapping effort called the Digital Atlas of the Virginia Flora, and we try to document whether or not a plant species is present in each county in Virginia. So if we look at the map for mistletoe, Phorandendron leucocarpum, we see that it's not found or hasn't been found previously in Roanoke City or Roanoke County. We just kind of merged the two together for our purposes. So I'm going to go up there with one of my student assistants and try to collect that plant and fill in the distribution map a little bit better. So mistletoe is a lot more common out in the eastern parts of the state. You'll see it really frequently in the coastal plain, and you'll see it pretty frequently in the Piedmont. Once we get out into the mountainous parts of the state, it becomes much less common. I guess it doesn't like cold, perhaps. But one of the best ways to spot it as you're driving along in the wintertime, when all the deciduous leaves have fallen, is to look for green clumps in the trees. So if you see a kind of roundish, compact green clump up in the canopy of a tree that's lost all its leaves, that's probably mistletoe, or it could be mistletoe. The squirrel nests sometimes look a little bit like them. They can be a little round clump up in the tree, but they're usually brown. And sometimes there's vining plants that keep their leaves through the winter. But if you see one of those in the tree, they're usually more spread out. They're not a compact circle or oval shape. They're usually more drawn out, kind of straggly looking. Today we're going to try to collect a new county record of mistletoe. So the eastern mistletoe, Phorandendron leucocarpum, is found throughout a lot of Virginia, but it becomes kind of rare in the mountains. It's never been recorded from Roanoke before, but I've seen these clumps up in this tree here, so we're going to try to knock down a sample. The clumps are pretty high up. The lowest one's probably about 20 feet. So we're going to try knocking it down with a softball first, and then if that fails, we're going to go to a slingshot. We're going to try the slingshot. Success so far. We're going to try going back to the softball. So we managed to get 4 leaves out of the tree, which, given how much success we were having hitting it, I think is pretty good. So what we need to establish this as a new county record is what's called an herbarium specimen. So basically we need to take this sample and put it in our herbarium or plant museum back at Virginia Tech. So usually we have a big piece of the plant with a lot of the stem and leaves and flowers and fruits and things. For plants that are really hard to obtain like this, we'll manage with what we have. This is the only mistletoe species in the area, so we can ID it pretty well just even from this meager sample. Usually we put it in a plant press, this very low-tech contraption here, and this basically just smushes it flat while it dries out. And then once it's dry, we can prepare it as an actual official specimen in the herbarium. These leaves are a little crispy and dried out, so I'm going to put them in a bag with some water for a day or so, and then I'm going to do the pressing. So I'll check back on these tomorrow and put them in the press. So in this video, I'll show you how I'm pressing the sample that we gathered up in Roanoke. So this is a plant press. It's basically a wood frame on either side, some straps to keep it nice and tight, and little layers of cardboard and paper inside. So what we're going to do is open up the press. Okay. And I'll take it down to one of these pieces of newsprint here. So it's just a sheet of paper from the newspaper. And what I'll do is I'll cross out any of the old labeling on it, and I'm going to write my collection number. This is just a little list of numbers that we keep in our collecting notebook with all the information about where we found the plant. And I'll put that it's the Roanoke mistletoe. This way, if I don't get around to preparing this specimen for half a year, when I pull it out, I'm going to know exactly what it is and be able to find exactly the information I need. So I've written JM 376 Roanoke phorhodendron. Phorhodendron is the genus name for mistletoe. And then this was a very hard plant to collect, so we just got 4 leaves from it. So this is not going to be very hard to press. I'll just spread these leaves out. A couple of them are kind of curled up, so I'm going to try to smush out their curl so that they'll press flat. And cover them back up with some of these cardboard sheets and blotter papers. The top of the wood frame goes on top. Put the straps back in place. Just kind of loosely tighten them for the moment here. And then once the press is pretty well put together, really put down and bear down and put some force on these and get the press nice and tight and try to move it, and you see it stays stationary. So in a few days these will be ready, and then we can put them on the mounting paper and put them into our database and everything, and they'll be official museum specimen. Some of our specimens are almost over 200 years old, so this specimen should actually still be around in the year 2200 for scientists to come look at.
Fail.
Not so easy, huh?